Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 207 of Millennial Movie Talk. I am Alexander Lamb, joined with me, as always, my host, Braden Dixon,
Hello.
and Michael Herman.
Howdy, howdy.
And we're here to talk about all things new, all things box, and all things
D.
D.
We are here to talk about all things D-Box, as well as two new release movies. We're reviewing three brand new things for us down here in wonderful little South Australia. Sorry, am I talking a little bit too quietly there for you, Alex?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll just bring my mic a bit closer. I hope that's all right for you guys.
Okay.
We have a pretty chock-a-block episode that it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be quick. This is a late night recording for us, so we've all got work tomorrow. So we wanna get to the good stuff.
Shall we just do the order of the movies we saw it in, and then we can talk about D-Block afterwards?
That sounds like a good idea, Michael. I like the sound of that. What did we see?
I came up with a good idea. We saw Transformers.
Rise of
We saw
the
the new
Beast.
Transformers.
This is the 7th Transformers.
Jesus.
Well,
That's a wild thought that there's been
the
7 of
seventh
those things.
movie in the Transformers franchise. It's not the 7th Transformers film.
I have definitely not seen all 7 of these things.
I have.
I like there's only one. I haven't seen Age of Extinction. I think that's the only one I missed.
It's the best one.
I missed the one with night in the title.
Last night, whatever.
Yeah, the prime night.
have not missed a single one.
You mad lad.
He's a true fan.
I've watched them all, and I was there.
You were there
And some of
for
them are
when
not good.
when they rewrote human history, and for when they explained that they definitely didn't rewrite history in this one.
I like that this one throws away the tropes where it's like, well, ancient humans didn't do that. We built that.
Yeah,
There's
it was
like
a
a
bit more
line in this
respectful.
one where it's like, oh, you guys built that, and they're just like, no, we can't take credit for that.
Yeah, I do. This one definitely. So we're in this new era of, which is also technically the old era of the Transformers, because this is coming straight off the back of Bumblebee, which was set in the 80s. Now we're getting Rise of the Beasts, which is set in the 90s, and it's following straight on from that, kind of.
Everything can still happen, though. We're not.
Everything can still happen. Timelines
Everyone
are fun
just
like that.
has to forget about giant robots every single time.
And the fact
Well,
that
yeah.
Sam Witwicky's dead.
Yes.
No one.
Yes.
They can't. Everyone forgets that Sam died.
Yeah. Bless.
True. I
But,
also forgot that until you said that. So
This
The
thing
new
being
one.
set in the 90s, I think, really gave it a lot of fun flair to play around with.
It wasn't as
Because-
fun as the one in the 80s, though.
No, the 80s will always be more fun than the 90s, because the
And John
90s
Cena
was
was
when
in it.
things kind of, like, everything got a little bit weird. Like, the 90s was like, hey, we're going to destroy the comic book industry, and we're also going to just get really edgy, and
it was
we're
the
gonna
edgy time.
fight
It was-
everything. So,
But the
but
movie,
it meant the soundtrack of this film could be 90% like good 90s hip hop, which I really appreciated. Also, like, characters from New York, like, you're gonna get that 100%.
I remember not much for a film I saw yesterday.
Yep. It.
Yeah.
What was your guys? Did you have expectations going into this one?
Oh
or-
no,
No.
I was more excited
Not at
for the
all.
chairs.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
also far
Yeah.
more excited about the chairs, but we'll get to that. Don't you worry.
look, honestly,
listener at
all I
home.
can remember from it was, hey, the CGI looked pretty good.
CGI looked
If you
really
just
good.
If you get rid of some of the really cheesy lines that aren't delivered by Optimus Prime, you're good.
But like, I don't
Yeah.
care about cheesy lines
No,
in a movie
no,
like this.
it makes
It's-
it didn't ruin the movie. You just have a giggle at it, like, ooh.
I'm not
that's a bit
going
cheesy.
into Transformers: Rise of the Beast with like a focus on dialogue.
Oh no,
Yeah, I
Definitely
definitely there was a severe mindset shift for me while I was in the middle of this film. I was watching it, and about halfway to about 2/3 of the way through, I went, you know what? I need to really just lay back and not take this anywhere near as seriously as I have been. Just think about it as though it's a Saturday morning cartoon episode with like the biggest budget in the world. And instantly I found myself enjoying the film so much more, especially because the back third of that film goes absolutely buckwild apeshit crazy, which definitely helps in that vibe that it's giving, which made it so much more enjoyable. Really, really fun.
I thought the ending, I thought the last act was really fun.
Yeah, this film kind of gets off to I would say it gets off to a fairly slow start. Like, they're trying to get you invested in these human characters.
Yeah.
I feel
like,
I was pretty invested in
Anthony Ramos.
Yep, his name. His character's name.
I remember they nicknamed him Sonic.
Yes.
Yeah. That one.
I can't remember his actual name.
Yeah.
Well, is it Noah or something?
Noah, that's it. Yep, you nailed it. Good work.
To be fair, I was just like, or was that from the movie we just saw and I'm mixing the two?
That's what happens
No,
when you see.
I know the character names from the movie we just saw, so
Yeah.
But
look, I think knowing what Transformers movies are like, you just
His
go
name
in
is
with no
Noah.
expectations except for explosions, big things shifting, and fights.
the world might end.
And Pete Davidson.
And Pete Davidson, the robots here.
Hey, look, that one, I quite liked his character. I thought he was funny.
Yeah, he actually did a good job.
Mm.
I actively, like, in the film, I didn't think, oh, that's Pete Davidson, because I didn't hear that beforehand. And then when Alex pointed it out, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I think it took until he pointed it out, Choppy.
But also, yeah, there's like, in terms of like the voice cast that they ended up getting,
Rojas.
It
there was
was.
some seriously good cast members in there.
Pellman, Dinklage, Michelle Yeoh, Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh.
You get John DiMaggio in there as well, who's great
Peter
voice,
Cullen, of course.
But yeah, they did a really good job of actually pulling some people together for it. So it actually it feels like it's exactly the type of action blockbuster film that you want, especially for the seats that we will talk about later. But in regards to the film, I ended up having a lot of fun when I sort of switched off sort of critical thinking and just had a blast.
It was
enjoying.
What was it? 2.5 hours? The movie?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, wasn't it not?
God, no.
I feel like I saw that. So I was gonna say it flew by if that was it. I thought I was wrong.
It was 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Because I was about to say, I did not. If that's how long it was, I did not feel the length at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was still the type of film that like probably could have really felt really like awesome if it had got under 2 hours. That would have been like get this at a tight 145, 150. Whew.
I reckon you do a 150.
Yeah, it'd be so good. Well, I don't know about how good it would be. It would be fun.
Would have liked to see more beasts for a film called Rise of the Beast. They were only in the beginning and then they show up at the end.
Yeah, and there's only 4 of them.
4, 5.
There's a ape, a rhino, a bird, and a cheetah.
Yeah, there is 4.
And then there's another rhino, and then there's another ape at the beginning.
And my favorite thing about it is that you guys didn't know the character name of the main ape.
Optimus Primal.
The fucking
named
best.
himself after Optimus
Which
Prime,
made me laugh when they said that.
It's really good. It's really good. And I'm so glad that you guys didn't know that beforehand because it was hilarious to watch you guys react to it.
This
enjoyable
movie
time all around.
Is perfectly fine for what it is. It's, it's probably going to make a bit of money. And kids are going to like it. And adults are going to have fun taking their kids to it. And
yeah, I feel like this one really hits home at that like parent who grew up watching Transformers and now is bringing their kid to go see Transformers.
And if you're like a Transformers fan, I imagine you'll enjoy it. You'll find enjoyment of it as well. I reckon it does a pretty good job at hitting all the bases.
Of a Transformers
just
film?
well enough for what this should be.
Yeah, definitely.
And they did a better job than they had before, making the human characters as interesting as they can for a film where you kind of just want to watch the robots do things.
Yes.
That is very true.
They do a really good job of like I would say having some worlds collide in that in that last half.
I don't
which-
understand why we keep needing humans in these movies.
You're not wrong. I assume it's a budget reason. Like,
Just have the robots fight.
I assume it's no. Okay, so it's probably in that thing of like my pa, who we took to go see Transformers, and I'm talking about my grandpa here. He fucking loved it. He had the
Oh.
time of his life. He loved this movie, and he also loved the seats. But we'll get to that. And the seats definitely helped in this, but we'll get to that.
The seats did help with this one.
They very much helped in our enjoyment. But my pa has this thing where like Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, two of my favorite films of all time, they're arguably some of the best superhero films ever made. And my pa isn't jack shit interested in them because they're animated. That's what my pa looks at. He looks
But
and sees
just
they're
give him big
animated.
CGI robots, and he's
The
happy.
second you have two humans amongst big CGI, all of a sudden that's different. And I feel like that's the same for just like the mainstream like audience goer as well. They're like, oh, Avatar, there's like 3 human people in it, and then everything else is CG. But they're like, oh, but it's real, so I'll go see it. I don't know. It's just this weird thing that people have with animated films. So like, they could just do a new animated Transformers, and it would probably be so much better. But yeah,
I gotta play the game with this one where it's like, did I like it more or less than The Little Mermaid? And I think I ended up liking it more, or I had more fun with it. So I gave it 3 out of 5 because that's what I gave The Little Mermaid.
that's fair. I think I gave a little bit less. I think I gave it a 2.5.
I gave 2.5, I think, as well.
Yeah, I had more fun with it than I did with the Little
I'd rather
Mermaid.
watch this again than The Little Mermaid again.
Yeah, I probably would, just because like this you can actually like just sit back and enjoy because it's like something new and different. But like also being like I feel like that back half really saves this movie, because the first half, like, I wasn't really flowing into it or anything, but I feel like that back half really bumped it up quite a bit and had a lot of fun with it then. So, but yeah, and we might mention a spoiler or two at the very, very end of the show. We'll see, because there's some cool stuff going on.
Yeah.
But people should go see the film.
Go see it. It's fun. If you
Yes.
want to just like turn your brain off for like 2 hours and just watch
Oh yeah,
a bit of fun.
yeah. Hey, if you got D-Box anywhere near you, I definitely recommend it with that.
And if you don't, suck it.
Sucker.
Drive to somewhere that does.
Yep.
The second movie, right?
Ooh, yes. Second movie, which we just got home from seeing,
Flash
is the latest from Warner Brothers Discovery with DC Comics. The possible last sort of, I don't know where they're drawing the line with the whole
Where's Blue
DC
Beetle
universe.
coming? I think it's Blue Beetle.
Is Blue Beetle the end of it? Because it feels weird, right?
Is it also right to say the long-awaited movie?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
one's been
very
in like many stages.
Extremely delayed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the Flash, starring everyone's favorite. Please apologize for all the incidents that have been going on in the last couple of years.
I saw
Actor Ezra Miller.
So I saw a pretty well-known outlet review this movie, and they mentioned in their recap of the review, like, it could be as fun as it wants, but it doesn't excuse the main actor's off-screen antics. And I'm just like, I know it's not good, but can we bring that up in a review for a movie that other than the actor being in the movie has no real effect on the movie itself?
Oh
yeah.
No. There's always the thing of like no matter what actor, like an actor, even if it's like 5 years after the movie's come out, like you sometimes just got to separate the art from the artist.
You got to, because then it's like the director, the writers, all the other actors. Now you're saying that the movie's bad because of
every
something
time
that
someone
they had
that was literally
had no effect on production.
Yeah, it's
I think
quite strange.
it's like I feel like it's
That's
a thing
quite weird.
I like.
I really
leading
think
up to
that
it,
this
I
outlet
joked
put
around.
that in there just to get a blurb or with like
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just
Just
they
to
needed
actually,
something to actually hook people.
yeah, put some juice into it. But I
it
feel
was
like
Screen
leading up
Rant,
to
by the
this,
way. Fuck Screen.
Fuck Screen Rant.
leading up to this, like I made the obvious, like, oh, I don't know, Ezra Miller, but like you still sit there and you don't. I'm not thinking about it during the movie. Like
They're a good
No, 'cause
you
actor.
separate, you
You watch
separate
the
artists,
movie,
you separate
and
artists from the art, and you're fine.
We've never complained about their acting.
yeah,
No.
they can act, and like they're really good as both versions of Barry in this film.
I
Like,
think it was smart for this one, and I've seen some other people say this, to make the one that is not our main Barry, very annoying.
yeah,
Yeah,
Because Barry
that's
in
fair.
Justice League is pretty annoying. But
Yeah,
to make
that's fair.
this other one even more
Yeah.
annoying, it made us
We have
like
one that's
our
a
Barry
lot more
more.
logical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bearable. Yeah.
So, this one we're getting a classic oops all timelines. Barry's going back in time. It's that classic Flashpoint story of Barry wants to
It's what
save,
if we did
save his
Flashpoint,
mum.
but not as good, because Flashpoint's pretty
Yeah.
great, and
Yeah.
I don't understand why we're changing Flashpoint up.
Yeah, if people want a good Flash movie to watch, well, you
Flashpoint
can go see this
Paradox.
one.
This one's
But
good.
I just go watch the animated Flashpoint
Flash-
movie because it's actually fucking
Yeah,
great.
Flashpoint Paradox is real good.
But no, we get this. We're bringing back Michael Keaton. We're bringing back Ben Affleck, and there's some other friends thrown in there, but we might get into spoilers later.
Two
But,
Ezra Millers.
Just
US,
in a
Hawaii's
just
worst
in a
nightmare.
general thoughts, what did we all think of this movie? Because like expectations going in, I was quite
I don't
mixed.
think anyone really had any high or low expectations of this. We also were just like, I don't know how to feel.
I had weird expectations. I was excited for it. But I was like, what if it's shit? Like that
Yeah.
was my like I was pretty keen to see it.
I think it's the flip flop of like, what if it's bad? But what if it's really good?
Well, it's
like,
the fact
you don't know how to.
this movie's in a weird situation where a bunch of people have come out and said it's the greatest superhero movie ever made. Like
Yeah,
big
that's
people.
been some high praise.
And then critics came out and said it's good, but it's like not the greatest superhero movie made. It's probably one of the better ones of like DC's last couple.
Oh, out of DC's stuff, definitely very good.
I'm just also going to throw it out. It's also one of the best superhero movies we've had in like compared to majority of the current phase and previous phase from Marvel. Like it's definitely up there against majority of those. I feel for me.
It's not better than.
I feel like that's a
Guardians
longer
3.
conversation than we have time for.
That's
here
not better.
today.
It's not better than Guardians 3.
Not better than the top ones, but there's I think a large proportion of some of the movies and stuff we've had from Marvel lately that this could be on par.
I'd say it's funny to make this comparison. I say it's on par, maybe a little better than Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
This one had a bit of sauce in it, which is why it kind of gets a bit elevated for me.
This one, they did some really fun stuff with it. They adapted the original story in a way which made sense for their movies and their like film properties and stuff. They do quite a good job of like, they feed you the member berries and that's a fun time, but they also introduce new stuff to actually like give you something new to grasp onto, like introducing Kara for people who aren't familiar with Supergirl at all. Like that's something new that people haven't seen before, which is really fun. And I mean, she's not in it a lot. I don't think that's a spoiler because like it's quite deep into the movie when you get to that. But it's tough because watching this film, you're like, okay, I feel like I've seen quite a bit from just like trailers.
I thought it was well paced.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pacing was quite good. Like,
How long
they
was-
actually give you quite a lot of good character development for
2 hours
Barry.
and 24 minutes.
Oh, that definitely felt that was paced well.
I thought
For a film that you would be worried about it flying through too quickly or going by
too fast.
in a flash,
Oh, there we go.
they do actually slow down quite a bit to actually give you some really good character development. Between the Barrys, we get to see kind of what the fuck's up with Michael Keaton's Batman, and we get a tiny bit of time actually understanding what the fuck Kara's deals up about. But yeah, it's weird because this film is The Flash, and yes, it is the Flash story. It does hold quite heavily onto trying to get you into the cinema seat with other characters that aren't the Flash. But I was pleasantly surprised.
I thought the two Barrys were the best characters in the film.
Yeah, they really developed them really well.
For a movie that everyone was saying was just going to be the Batman movie with the Flash, I thought it was very much not the Batman movie with the Flash.
Oh yeah, no, it was the Flash with Batman.
They've definitely advertised it as like, "Hey,
Batman.
come see the Flash" because it has Batman in it.
I wanna say purely because of everything with Ezra Miller. I think that's why they lent into the Michael Keaton and stuff to try and pull people in. I feel like
I also think that's just marketing in general. I think Ezra Miller
Yeah.
could have been an upstanding citizen, and they'd be like, Michael Keaton's back here.
oh yeah, but that's a fair point.
I think it could have been I think it would have been a really pleasant surprise if the only thing that we really knew about this alternate timeline that Barry had found himself in from the trailers was that Michael Keaton was in it. Because, like, can you imagine if all of a sudden fucking Zod from Man of Steel's showing up? Like, that could have been an absolutely bonkers thing.
That was the only part of the movie where I was just like, oh, we're just putting this in there for fun.
Yeah, it really insert any kind of
didn't add
conflict.
anything to Zod. It didn't.
Yeah. It was like, we need conflict here to be the big conflict, which will result in spoilers and spoilers and spoilers that we might talk about later. But it kind of just felt like you just needed a conflict to be here. So
And
why
Zod's
not go back
someone
to
that
the
we can
earliest
all-
Snyderverse thing that we have?
And we can all go, Zod.
No, it's fucking Michael Shannon. Look at that.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. In terms of the story as well, like it gives Kara something to do.
Yes,
So I guess it makes sense. And Zod's cool, but like he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was just in this movie.
Yeah, very much.
I mean, you got Michael Shannon. Get him to do stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Could have really given some like interesting new angles on it.
But I mean, look.
which
At the end of the
really
day, Zod's not like the main antagonist of the film or anything.
No, the main challenging struggle of this film is the moral quandaries and the space-time continuum quandaries of if you could change your fate, would you?
It's like I didn't expect the Flash movie to nearly make me cry, and this one had the welling up started. So, well done, Flash movie.
It gets quite touching.
CGI though.
Let's talk about that.
I'm not sure if the movie needed an extra couple mil, extra 50 mil, and
just to help smooth some things out.
And then at the same time, it's like, could have you done any better, or is it just the decisions they made in production?
Yeah, they
could have worked more on the two Barrys.
Yes, yeah, having
before.
the two Ezras together sometimes, and quite a lot of the time, you were saying before, you could really sort of tell which one was the real one at that time.
I would even go to say 100% of the time, you knew which Ezra was in scene and which one had the body double. So that's something that I'm sure a lot of people will talk about.
It's quite a you do really have to really suspend your disbelief.
Yeah, and I could also tell which one that the film was making me want to look at more. So I'd look at the other one and just spot.
And you'd
you
look
could
and be like,
instantly tell.
It's a lot of
that doesn't look
Uncanny
right.
Valley on the other one.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then there's what we'll call a recurring set piece that I'll refer to as it's kind of stylized like a Colosseum type thing. Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
rows of stuff going around. And they've made a choice for everything in that to be CGI, even if it's showing real actors in real things.
Except for
Yeah.
And
Barry in it. There's
yeah, except for
one-
Barry in the middle of it.
Yeah, well, but there's one moment where the other Barry's interacting with it, and he goes fully like their style,
Yeah.
which is
It's
Even the first time we see it before it becomes a
See,
lot.
I wouldn't have had
yeah.
a bit rough.
I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'm mostly fine with that because it's something
Yeah,
that's not. It's clearly
a
a
choice to do it that way.
Yeah.
It separates it, and also it allows
And
for
I
them
would
to
have been
do other things with it.
perfectly fine with it if it wasn't a little inconsistent.
Mm.
But acting wise, everyone was good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice
I'd
to
say
see Michael Keaton back in the boots.
nice to see Michael Keaton collecting a paycheck. Back in the boots.
Yeah, I was when we were in the middle of the film, I was kind of hoping that the line from the trailer where he just
Wasn't in the
says,
film. Same.
you want to you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah.
I was just like, could have done without that in the actual film.
Yeah,
Like that's
if
fun
you
to
were
put in the
thinking-
trailer.
If you were thinking, hey, maybe it works in the film, not
Nah,
so much.
it's still quite out of place.
And the I'm Batman too was a bit.
Yeah,
It's
they're
shoehorned.
a little bit.
So also when he's first introduced, he's got a sort of style about him that's clearly made to cover the fact that it's a stunt double.
Oh yeah, big
yeah.
time.
So
Oh,
yeah.
bless.
Could have used a bit more Ben Affleck. I love Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yep.
Batfleck.
We're getting a new Batfleck suit variation.
Yes.
Getting a little bit more of that that Dark Knight Rises nose sculpt that's
Mhm.
in the mask.
Yeah. I did that.
Uh,
That was sort of the thing that stood out in his suit was the nose.
Yeah,
I did clock onto that.
It's always funny seeing Batman in the daytime. But I feel like this film leans into it because the whole scene is going for that comedic
Yeah, there
this
is.
movie feels like a comic book movie.
Yeah.
This feels wacky and fun and silly and crazy. And
It
they
al-
actually
it-
managed to pull that off.
Am I wrong to think that it had a false credit start as well in the beginning?
It did.
Where
It went to
started-
show
yeah,
the
it
title
did.
card and then he get distracted.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
I thought that was
really loved
funny.
that.
I liked that.
Yeah, that first scene as a whole does a really good job of introducing you to what this film is like.
Yeah.
Because
There's
the
a
action
rescue.
set piece
There's a rescue
you're getting
in that one. That's pretty
is
funny.
I'm glad they didn't spoil that in a trailer because
Definitely.
you could totally see them spoiling that in a trailer. But I think that set piece was one of the standout scenes of that movie. That was great.
Surprisingly, they balanced the tone of the film quite well between the emotional stuff and the comedic style it had.
Yeah.
So that was refreshing. And that was
Yeah,
nice
this
to
film
see.
isn't afraid to try and get some laughs out of you while also, trying to bring you to tears at times.
Mm.
And like I said, all the acting was real good. From everyone who was in fact in the film more than 5 minutes.
Yes.
So yeah, it is a lot of Ezra Miller.
It's quite a lot of Ezra Miller on your screen, so prepare for that.
Double
Double
the normal man.
You'll be seeing double.
But yeah,
I haven't. Do we want to? Okay. Do we want to take a pause, talk about this fucking D-box experience, and then get into some spoilers for these films?
Did you feel the need for speed?
We felt it all in the booty. Oh my lord, folks! The D-box experience is at some selected Hoyts cinemas near you. This isn't a sponsored ad, but
Other cinemas are available.
other
cinemas-
cinemas and other normal fucking seats are available.
But did the other
But-
cinemas have D-Box?
No.
But would I recommend you go see Transformers in any seat other than a D-box seat?
Nope.
No.
No.
Hey, Flash too. I thought
They both
were
worked so
different.
well. They were.
They were instinctively. I was super duper thinking this was going to be really gimmicky bullshit. I really thought these seats were going to be utter trash.
Oh, I did too. I thought they were gonna.
I thought it was just going to be
didn't
like,
have much hope.
whoa.
I'd
And
face
it like,
D-Rock.
oh.
You guys,
And they're not. They're actually quite good.
It's shocking how much they interact with the film, like in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, they're quite tailored.
Yeah, like
I really just thought they were going to be really generic, but
it has to be there has to be they have to ship out whatever program or file that indicates when to move. Like the company that makes the movies has to do it.
I hope that it's. This is what I like to imagine for how they make the D-Box experience work for each individual film that they do it with. I hope that the D-Box experience is a cinema full of D-Box seats with all these D-Box employees, and they all have the controls to their seat. They watch the movie and they do that, and then they take an average of what the entire lot do to make that the experience.
I'll raise you this. I hope they do it the exact same way they do sound mixing and score in movies, where they have it on a big auditorium and there's just one conductor at the front and it's just like, yeah.
But I was pleasantly surprised because with Transformers, they really did a good job of emphasizing those explosions, those big fights and everything, but those rumblings and like making it feel like there's scale.
They made you feel like you were there if these giant robots were walking. Like every time they would step, the seat would vibrate.
Watching both films. Now, Flash, we were in these things for 2.5 hours almost for Flash.
Yeah.
I just forgot.
Yeah, you just actually start to, because once the novelty of it wears off after like the first like 20 minutes of it, and you just sort of find yourself in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had it on Max the whole time, obviously.
Oh, I was wondering if like the Max was going to be like super, and they were like, we recommend like the middle one. No, I recommend just put it on full. Like,
did they say they recommend the middle one?
No, that's what I thought they were going to do. Okay. Like, if you really want it, you can put it up. But
the default is on the middle, not the highest. It's on the middle.
No, yeah. But like, look, I feel like just put it on the highest. It's not just like maybe for the first 5 minutes, it's not jarring. It just takes a second for you to remember you're in moving seats. But then once you like settle into the movie and sort of subconsciously know you are going to be moving, it's fantastic.
The best parts of the Flash, in particular, were when they incorporated his speed and like the lightning effects into the chairs, which was really cool.
I think it really helps us in actually getting a sense of what these chairs are like by us seeing two movies.
So I was pointing
the unique tailoring of it did a really good job. Because, like I said earlier, Transformers did a really good job of being like explosions and punchy and giving you that sense of gravitas. Whereas the Flash actually managed to give this really like you really felt like you were like floating around.
Yeah,
and, like
that's what I
with the movement
felt. And I was saying as we were leaving, I was like, with Transformers, it was a lot more rumbling and vibrating, where this one was a lot more swaying. Like even like in moments where like there wasn't big things going on, it felt like the chair was still just like
we were swaying a little bit, weren't we? Because like
100%.
I thought I was trying to look at your seat every now and again to see if yours was moving, Choppy.
Well, I was trying to look at the person sitting next to us because they were either sitting in an out of order one or they just didn't have theirs on at all. Because there were parts in the fight scenes where the three of us were like shaking around, and I looked next to me and the person sitting next to me is just like just nothing.
But I think this did a good, and I think with the it was going back to that first sort of title sequence, like, or maybe it was just after, but like you felt him speed up as he ran. There was one sequence where like it started off him going slow and like it sort of progressed his speed, and you felt that in the chair too.
Yeah.
The car crashes in the beginning were like just like
They were
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
visceral, I will actually say. They
And
shake you around.
That was like the punches in Transformers. Like you felt like if a punch came from one side, you were going that way. Like that chair like threw you a bit.
very well though.
Yeah, I you can't take the smile off my face because I'm just so pleasantly surprised by them.
Will you be debocking again? Like,
yes,
I would happily get in the D box again.
So here's my question though. Like, are you taking like? Because my biggest worry was that I wouldn't be able to engage with the film because I'd be thinking about this chair moving me around.
You'd get pretty distracted.
I can comfortably say that that's not the case. I was still heavily engaged in the film, and the chair just added to my experience of feeling like I was a part of the film. Which is
so they're doing their job
better than 3D.
I would actually agree with that. I think this has far more legs on it than 3D.
Yeah,
100%. Like 3D has that thing where you're watching the film and like it. Anytime they actually really try to utilize the 3D, it feels gimmicky as shit.
Because now I'm thinking with it, I'm like I'm very just considering seeing everything in debug. And
there's a lot of see, the one thing I'm wondering what it would be is something like a rom-com or something where there's not big action set pieces to like make you really feel like you're in these car crashes and speeding
in debug.
Yeah, I think this is purely for your blockbusters. Your big.
This is how I'm considering it. It's like whatever's in extreme screen is your debug, because I think they're only in extreme screen, so it makes sense that like your Transformers, your Flashes, your Indiana Joneses, Barbie's gonna be the, and I will be seeing Barbie in these chairs.
If Barbie's in D-Box, that would be the fucking best.
Look, the one thing I want to know how there's two things. I wonder, like, obviously seeing how much we felt things and how much like little subtle movements we do, like car doors slamming, just a little jolt or anything. If you have it on the lowest setting, I wonder how much of that like subtle stuff you're missing out on.
So there is a Barbie debug advanced screening on
my God.
In July.
Oh my God.
July 19th, the night before it comes out. So I imagine
you gotta debox it.
Yeah, I'm debocking Barbie. There's
I feel like Oppenheimer would be.
Oppenheimer's weird. 3 hours.
I know 3 hours of it, but like imagine as these bombs go off, the absolute rumblings of this chair.
I really want Oppenheimer in D-Box to be a completely static chair for 2 hours.
Until the bomb goes off.
And then as the bomb goes off, because I'm assuming the sequence is going to be like 5 minutes of fucking nuts explosion footage. I just want the chair for 5 whole minutes to just be going like...
I want to have to turn it off.
Oh my God. I want people to be like considering like calling their physiotherapist afterwards. I want Oppenheimer to fuck people up.
Another good one I think will be great in debug will be Gran Turismo. I think that will be pretty wicked.
Yeah.
I think could be
can
fun.
You imagine if Top Gun Maverick was out with this?
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning will be.
Yeah, I did when the trailer was on, I turned to Alex, I was like, debug?
I was on the fence with that before watching this, but the Flash debug experience really made me go, I reckon anything can do this.
Yeah.
Any sort of big blockbuster thing can do it.
So after yesterday, it had a bit of versatility, sort of.
And that was my main concern after Transformers. I was like, is this just a one-trick pony? But no, they do a good job of actually really making it.
Like, especially if it is very unique and you get like even just like the difference between one movie is a lot more rumbling and the next one's a lot like bit more swaying fluid motions. Like I think across that, I think It's gonna be really good.
I mean, the Meg 2, we're absolutely.
Oh.
So, my dad, and this is purely for you two. I don't know if he's in the chat right now. It's late. We don't know. We never check the live chat. My dad was so excited for the Meg 2 in D-Box.
Yeah.
He said to me as I was leaving to go see The Flash with you guys tonight, tell the boys I can't wait to Phil Statham touch me.
I can't wait.
Gonna be touched by Statham.
Yeah, but D-Rock with the Meg is gonna be a bit of fun.
It'll go off. It'll be very fun.
So yeah, Oppenheimer, Barbie, Dead Reckoning. I'm seeing Indy in them.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun as hell.
Indy will be fun. Trying to think of what could really be weird. Probably Blue Beetle will be a bit of fun.
I feel like any superhero action
TMNT
movie is going to be...
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie is going to be a bit of fun with D-Rock.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That'd be cool.
D-Rock might bring back cinemas, guys.
Get back to the cinemas, folks.
It might.
You don't
if this year of movies hasn't already, D-Rock.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies coming out. This is
D-Rock.
kind of crazy.
Also, we didn't mention it, but I gave The Flash 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah,
with the,
I was thinking about 3.5.
With the review on Letterboxd being, "God damn it, Tom Cruise."
You got your expectations up. Yeah, I don't really know where I'm sitting on it, in terms of a rating. I think 3.5 sounds about right. I did enjoy the stuff that will spoil, but I don't think that gets it higher in a score rating thing.
Well, do we want to go into spoilers maybe next week? Just because it's not really out anywhere else.
Isn't it?
We've seen these movies pretty early.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Transformers we can spoil because I think that's actually properly out in America. But with The Flash, I don't think it's even out there yet for a day or two. So I'm quite comfortable with waiting, just doing a little bit of a one next week.
Let's do that. That sounds good. But we should talk about the Transformers spoiler.
Yes, the one thing to talk about Transformers.
Yeah. So if you don't want to spoil for Transformers, hey, thanks for joining us for episode 207 of MMT Millennial Movie Talk. You can follow us on your social media of choice. Follow us on your podcast service of choice. If you can, leave a review. Subscribe on YouTube. Chuck us a like. Leave a comment. Do all that stuff. Support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/MillennialMovieTalk. Check us a buck or two.
I watched Fast 10 again last night.
Oh,
it came out to download. No, to buy on VOD in America.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that movie's bad, but it's like
it's so fun.
It's so fun. Momoa,
my God.
Momoa is
he is unhinged in that film.
Oh, it's fucking
fantastic.
weird. But
so good.
He's awesome.
All right,
I'm pretty sure his in canon reason for why he's so crazy is he hit his head. Now he's crazy gay.
He's crazy gay. He's great. He is androgynous as hell, and he is serving. He's serving like queer Joker is what he's serving.
He's gay Joker. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't want spoilers for Transformers, leave now. If you're still here, you either saw the film or you're just curious why the fuck we would be talking about spoilers for a Transformers film.
So they're doing it. They're crossing over with G.I. Joe. I don't know what the G.I. Joe thing is.
Joe, bro.
Hasbro have got some serious brand synergy going on at the moment. As we were approaching the final scene of Rise of Beasts, I had an inkling as to what was happening. The second they revealed that it was not, in fact, a job interview, because this guy knows way too much. I had picked up what was getting put down purely because there's been some other stuff going on in the comic book industry. So then I just got to watch your guys' reaction as they revealed it, which was also very fun for me.
It's like I really thought that they were kind of being like, oh, this is Sector 7, the people that kind of have Megatron under the ice from the original Transformers movies. I'm like, oh, they're tying this all back. Okay, that's nice.
Who a damn.
And then he looked at the business card and it said G.I. Joe, and I went, oh.
Okay. Yeah. Were you just not expecting that at
I
all?
was not. It took me
I-
like a left hook. It knocked me. It rattled me. But okay. I mean, look, we're not doing anything with the GI Joe franchise, and Transformers were kind of slowly but surely getting on the right track. This could be fun to cross them over. It doesn't have to be the greatest film in the world. It's just going to be a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Nothing can be as bad as what these franchises have already spat out.
Yeah, that is
These
true.
movie franchises have definitely found their valleys. And now they're trying to find some peaks.
Yeah, was Retaliation good? The Rock.
That was the Rock one, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure the
I've
Rock's...
never watched any of the
Where-
GI Joe movies.
Where Channing Tatum's character fucking beefs it in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, did The Rock save G.I. Joe? He did, didn't he?
They never made another one though. Oh, but no, wait, fuck. Didn't they do Snake Eyes recently? I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, that was bad as well.
I forgot about that. I
They
didn't
haven't done
see
anything
that.
good. We can come to that.
I don't know. I might watch The Rock one again and let you know.
I remember enjoying it as a kid because I was a child when those films came out.
Yeah, I remember I rewatched Rise of Cobra
Mm,
in COVID times,
and
and
it didn't hold up.
that movie sucked.
Oh no!
Rise
Wah, wah.
of Cobra is literally a really, 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 really bad film. They gave Snake Eyes a mouth in his helmet, and it was awful.
Oh fuck yeah! I forgot about that. Oh my
So,
god,
that was dumb.
hilarious.
And I always just remember Retaliation being a bit of fun. But who knows? The Rock. It was kind of during the Rock's period where he was jumping into franchises and saving them.
It was getting on everything.
I think
New face of Hollywood,
I think
and he
this
was on it.
G.I. Joe Retaliation and Fast and Furious 5 came out within like a year or so of each other. So,
Oh wow, yeah, that sounds about right, actually. Goddamn.
yeah.
But
So,
yes, it's a very interesting time for the Transformers brand and the GI Joe brand. As I alluded to before, there was a bit of comic book industry stuff going on over the last little while. Back in around, probably a couple of years ago now, Transformers and GI Joe were being published with IDW, who currently hold the rights for things like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Sonic. They're basically their two biggest selling things that they have at the moment, since they lost the rights to Transformers and GI Joe, and everyone was like, "Hey, what's going on? Where are all these Transformers and GI Joe comics at?" And they weren't really announcing who
Where
had
are
the rights
they?
to them. We now know, and it's kind of leaked to the public, so everyone's like, "Yep, okay, cool. We can't keep the secret any longer." But a little while ago, they contacted comic book retailers and were like, "Hey, we want you to keep this secret, but there's this new thing coming out, and the secret from it is that hey, Transformers and GI Joe are back in this."
So,
And that thing is Void Rivals, which is a new sci-fi thing coming out from Image Comics and Skybound Comics, which is going to be by Robert Kirkman of Walking Dead and Invincible.
So, to quickly throw back to my Rock saving franchises conversation,
Mm.
in 3 years, the span of 3 years, he jumped into Fast and Furious 5 and made a better sequel. Then he jumped into Journey to the Mysterious Island and made a better sequel. And then he jumped into G.I. Joe Retaliation and made a better sequel. So,
Wow.
I think those 3 films in a row kind of really propelled The Rock into Hollywood.
Yeah,
And,
like so all of a sudden he was everywhere,
he was rocking. So,
and now he's a
yeah.
rolling.
Now he's a rolling back to Vin Diesel. So yeah, that's my Rock news.
Yeah.
The only other thing I've really watched this week is all the Indiana Jones movies. Oh,
Getting
and quickly
ready for
shout
the
out
last
to
one.
Blackberry. I watched Blackberry. I'll talk about it for 2 seconds, but it's a really good biopic that people should watch. About the rise and the fall of the BlackBerry phone. Starring Jay Baruchel and Glenn Howerton, Dennis from Always Sunny.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
really,
random.
really, really good, and it's got a dark comedy aspect to it, and it's funny because like spoilers for the BlackBerry, they died once the iPhone came out, and it's
Whoa,
like
no, really?
and like everything's going well, they hit their peak, and literally the downfall of the movie. There's one there's when these biopics, so they hit their peak and then it's the rise and the fall. The fall of this movie is literally the iPhone coming out.
So good.
So it's a bit of fun. But no, it's a really, really solid film. I gave it 4.5 out of 5.
Damn.
Really, really,
Nice.
really good. And then on the contrast, I watched Charlie Day's directorial debut, a film that he has stated on the podcast, not this podcast, their podcast, that he's been working on for a long time, and he was really excited to finally finish it. I got halfway through and I had to turn it off because it was unbearably bad.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
And I felt so bad. I reviewed it,
Oh.
but I gave it half a star. I haven't finished watching it. I've done 2 sittings of it. I kind of just want to get through it for him. But it's like the reviews were not very good at all. But I was like, I like Sonny. I'll give it a shot for him. It's awful. Like,
God damn.
yeah, in the sense of where it's just like, it's just not funny, and I feel bad, and I'd like to know where. I still think he's got it in him to make something good, but this wasn't it.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's episode 207 of MMT Millennial Movie Talk. I did the outro earlier. If you need it again, hey, leave a review on your podcast service of choice, and make sure you're following us there. Michael, I think you have someone you want to shout out.
Oh yeah. Well, Brayden, someone was a bit unhappy with you.
I know. I was incredibly late.
We have a frequent listener, Jocelyn, was unhappy with you because the episode last week didn't come out. So she hopefully will get a double feature this week.
Is she our resident? Is she our resident 60-year-old
No,
with a name like Jocelyn?
Damn.
She's not going to listen.
Shots fired.
I've never met someone under the age of 60 called Jocelyn.
She's younger than us. Oh, I love it.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, Joz.
Shout out, Jocelyn.
Yeah, Joz.
No, seriously, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, Jocelyn.
For the people who do listen to this silly little show of ours, seriously, thank you.
Jocelyn and her brother Graham.
Hey, don't talk shit on my pa, Graham.
Graham. Exactly, your pa.
Yeah, exactly.
Cut before we start bagging on everyone.
All right, as always.
Johnson's sister, Patricia. I can keep going. Oh, it's an old soul name. I'm Alex.
I'm Brayden.
And I'm Michael.
We're out of here. Goodbye, Jocelyn. Goodbye.